Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel Ward 101. So this channel usually focuses on clinical guidance for general practitioners and doctors in Qatar and the Middle East. But recently we have got an overwhelming query in our inbox on our website, and we received so many questions about Prometric exam and IFOM exam and how to work in Qatar and what is the procedures. So I thought it will be helpful to make a video covering on this. So in this video today, I'll explain the process, the patterns, and what you need to know in order to work as a doctor in HMC, in Qatar. And it's going to be a little bit of longer video, so make sure you have your pen and a paper so that you write down the important steps that you think that you might forget or miss. In this video, I'm going to disclose certain information that you might not receive from the influencers and doctors and bloggers who are actually giving a light on how to work as a doctor in Qatar. It's not a cakewalk. Everyone needs to understand that every doctor in Qatar needs to sit for an exam. Even if you are a graduate from Qatar University, students from Qatar University needs to sit for IFOM, CSC and BSc during their academics. And then they get into internship and then residency. Graduates outside Qatar need to sit for IFOM or Step 2 CK or MCCQE or Prometric exam in order to work in Qatar. No doctor in this country is accepted from the rule of sitting for the exam. So if you don't have any score or any exam, make sure you have one before trying to search your luck in this country. Number one is exams. Everyone sits for the exam, but the duration varies. Qatar University students sit during their academics, and anyone who is graduated from outside the country needs to come back to the country, or maybe they can sit in their own country and write it, but they write it after they get graduated. That's the only difference. Breaking the score thing into two, Prometric exam is if you want to work as a doctor in the country in the private hospitals. Prometric exam is not required if you want to apply for residency in HMC. But if you don't have Prometric exam to work in private clinic and you already have a Step 2 CK or a Canadian exam or an IFOM exam, you can still apply for the license in the private hospitals. Yes, Prometric exam is not mandatory to work in the private hospitals. Moving on to the HMC score. Now, being a clinical professor and a doctor, I have realized that a lot of students who come for our courses on our platform are those students who are going to reappear for IFOM again even after they scored 75 above in IFOM, thinking that if they score higher, they can pitch into HMC much easier. But getting into HMC is not all about scores. Please understand that after you get the score, HMC should take you in, approve you, so that they interview you and you should be able to pass the interview. So please make sure that if you're scoring 75 above, don't try to hold yourself to apply for the residency this year and sit for the exam again. Instead of that, prepare for your interview in order to pass the interview if you get the chance to step into the interview in HMC. It's not all about scores in HMC residency. It's about your experience, how keen and enthusiastic you are, and how confident you are in your interview, and what do you have to give to HMC in order to bring the change in the system. It's not all about scores. So please make sure that if you scored 75 above and you don't get into HMC this year, prepare yourself, make yourself more stronger and eligible in order to apply for the residency next year. Moving on, if you scored 75 above in IFOM and you don't get into HMC, what do? Do you fail to have an opportunity to work in Qatar? No. With that IFOM score, you can apply for your license. If if you write IFOM and you score 60 above, you're eligible to apply and work in the private sectors as well in Qatar. So if you don't pitch for HMC, you can sit for IFOM. Again, you don't need to have a Prometric exam. Anyone who do not want to pitch for HMC can write IFOM also and apply for the jobs in Qatar. So how does it work? It's not a cakewalk at all. Once you get your scores and you pass IFOM or Prometric exam, get your data flow done. That is important. If you do not have a data flow, you cannot apply for your evaluation and no clinic is going to hire you. So make sure after you get your scores, you get the data flow done. Data flow approximately takes 25 days. That is approximately a month in order to get the report out. The data flow will decide, they will tell you that if you are a fresh graduate or you are a physician assistant or you are a GP with experience or whatever specialty you have. So make sure you are uploading all your documents and data flow will do its job and will give you a report. With that report, you're going to go on the QCHP website. So now you have two reports. One is your score report and the other one is your data flow report. You're going to go on the QCHP website and you're going to apply for your own evaluation. You're going to upload all your documents that they require and you have to wait for 25 working days, that is 1 month. And the Ministry of Public Health will decide your scope. If you're a fresh graduate, the MOPH will tell you, okay, you can work as a GP supervised. If you are a fresh specialist, they will tell you, okay, you can work as an assistant specialist. If you're someone with experience in your country, they will tell you, okay, you can apply for so and so position. Now, this evaluation report has a validity of 6 months. So basically, you have 6 months of duration to find a job beyond HMC in the country. So that's the real deal. That's where the sinkhole is. You have 6 months of time in order to find a job to work. And this is for all the GP supervised and the fresh graduates and someone who do not have experience or do not have specialty in the country or anywhere in outside Qatar. A GP supervised is not paid by private hospitals and not hired by the government sectors. So if you are a fresh graduate, let's say in your own country, and you want to come and work in Qatar and you have done your part, that you got your score, you did your data flow, you applied for your evaluation and MOPH said, okay, you are eligible to work as a GP supervised, you will have to hunt for the job. You have 6 months of validation. If you don't do that, that evaluation report will expire. If you get within 6 months, your luck. Now, there are a lot of, I won't say rumors, but a myth that someone who is born in Qatar gets an opportunity much easier, or someone who's a Qatari can get an opportunity much easier. That's not the case. Everyone has to struggle. Doctors who are born in Qatar may find it difficult because the clinic might think that they have to pay them higher because we have our QIDs. So clinic probably prefers hiring someone outside from outside the country, right? So everyone has to struggle. Yes, it is mentioned in the circulars. Yes, that is true. I won't deny that if the interview sets up and we have doctors who are not born in the country or someone who is under their husband's sponsorship, and there is another set of doctors in the interview who are born in the country and who are in their father's sponsorship, the clinics may prefer hiring someone with the family sponsorship or someone who is born in Qatar than someone who is not there. Again, that is not the thumb rule, but yes, that is also a myth that those who are born in Qatar do not struggle and they get things in a golden plate or with a golden spoon. Everyone has to struggle in this country. It's not easy to work as a doctor in Qatar. And then in the end results, of course, it's all beautiful. Yes, we all are satisfied to work here in this country, but the initial part is difficult if you don't do it right. Now, after you get your evaluation done, search for the jobs, Maybe you will be interviewed, maybe you will be hired directly. Don't expect a salary if you're a GP supervised or an assistant specialist. If someone is ready to give you a salary, maximum they will give you is 1500, not more than that. Then after you get the job, the clinic will apply for your temporary license. That will again have the validity of 6 months, and then it will become a permanent license later on, and after you finish the duration of GP supervised. Now the Ministry of Public Health will tell you you have to work as a GP supervised for 6 months, 11 months, 2 years, or maybe 3 years. So according to that duration, you can change your scope. Once you finish the GP supervised scope or an assistant specialist scope duration, you can change your scope immediately. So that is all about the rules that we all must know in order to work as a doctor in Qatar. It's not a cakewalk. Every one of us had our own piece of struggle. People who tell that, you're born in Qatar, so you have better opportunities, or you are born in Qatar, so it's easier for you. If you're a Qatari, it's easier for you. No, it's not. Everyone has their struggles. Make sure you're choosing your path right. Make sure you don't have a clinical gap. If you have any clinical gap, make sure you're getting the courses done in a right way. To end it up, this is just for information that we run a platform called Doctors Essential. In that we have one course called GP Mastery, which is a completely online course for 6 months. You can go on the website and read about it. We are trying to pitch it to make it more practical and to have hospital internships, and we are trying to find the collaborators, but that's the second story. So anyone who is interested and who has a work gap or who wants to uplift their GP GP knowledge or skills can enroll into our course. We will have our next batch, the second batch, in January 2026. Now this course was actually made in order to create a bridge between those doctors who are not getting jobs in Qatar and who have gaps to those who are getting. So we want to create this bridge. So that's why we made this course. And if you are someone who is in their phase of evaluation and you are not able to find a job in the country, you are most welcome to join our course, so that at least you don't fall in that gap category. You don't have that work gap, and it makes things much easier for you, at least when you apply for the job. I hope this clears all the queries and information that everyone asked us to work as a doctor in Qatar. Thank you.